I am excited to talk about this album. This album was released 20 years ago on May 14th, 2002. And that album is called Come Home With Me by Cameron. And wow, this was the album that made me pay attention to Cameron, but also was the album that caught my attention of who Cameron is. And it was, to me, it was the start of the whole Dipset movement. So when this album came out, I thought to myself, what more can they put out? And boy, from 2002 through 2007, the Diplomats, Camron, Joel Santana, Jim Jones, they've put out great single after single after single that you played in the streets, in parties, in clubs. So it was a phenomenal era. That was basically from the ending of my elementary school to the beginning of my high school. So middle school, those guys were a big part of my 3 years in middle school. I remember at one point, not at one point, but there were times where we would have a substitute teacher, and a few of my classmates would change their names on purposely to Jim Jones or Joel Santana. That's how much they were a draw to us, because I'm from Washington Heights, and when this album came out, Come Home With Me, it was a summer anthem for Harlem and for uptown Manhattan in general. So that's Harlem, Washington Heights, Inwood, Dykeman. We were, since it's a little close to each other, we loved anything that the Diplomats put out. So listen to this, Cameron's two singles, Oh Boy, featuring Joel Santana, and Hey Ma, which also is featuring Joel Santana, Freaky Zicky. They were phenomenal songs. Let me tell you guys some of my favorite songs from this album. Welcome to New York City, featuring Jay-Z and Joel Santana. Hey Ma, Oh Boy. I like the intro. The intro is dope to the album, and it gives you that sense of what's going to happen in the album. And also the song The Rock featuring Beanie Sigel and Memphis Bleak. This album was very well produced. I mean, Just Blaze, at that time in the early 2000s, anything he touched turned to gold. So Just Blaze, he produced 4 tracks of the album, and those tracks that he produced were Oh Boy, Welcome to New York City, what else? But those are some that he produced. And I can't forget that Kanye West also produced 2 tracks in the album. Ty 5 produced 5 tracks. This album was very good from a production standpoint. And Cameron, just being Cameron. And this was the album that you saw coming out of Joel Santana. And, he went on to put out good albums as well. And he was probably my favorite member of the Diplomats. So the song Oh Boy held the #1 spot on the hot R&B/hip hop singles for 5 straight weeks. The #1 spot on the hot rap tracks, peaked at #4 on the Billboard Hot 100. And then his second hit, Hey Ma, which to this day I play it. That's how much I love the hook. Hey Ma, what's up? I love the hook. So Hey Ma reached #3 on the Hot 100 and #8 on the UK singles chart, becoming such a massive hit. So I wanted to make this video to acknowledge Come Home With Me, because like I said, it's been 20 years, which is unbelievable to think that 20 years has flown by. I remember when this album hit the streets, and The very first time that I heard, not the album, but the first time I heard Oh Boy, it was June 2002. My parents rented a hall, which that year my oldest sister graduated from high school. My second older sister, which is the middle one, she graduated middle school. She was going to high school. And then me, I was supposed to graduate 5th grade to move on to middle school. That didn't happen, but everything happened for a reason, and I'm glad it happened. But anyway, that party was meant to, a celebration of the three of us, graduating at the same time in the same year and moving on to the following process, to the following school. So at one point during the party in the hall that my parents rented out, which a lot of people attended, I remember hearing Oh Boy, and just one of my sister's friend, the one who graduated from high school at the time, he was basically singing the entire song. So yeah, that was cool. And I remember just hearing the lyrics and the beat, and I was like, yo, this sounds good. And I was 11 years old at the time, so recently turned 11, so it was great to reminisce that. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to this channel.